What's going on, everyone? I'm AB Sports. This year's March Madness tournament has been fantastic, and now there are only 4 teams left. I'm going to break down and preview both games and tell you everything you need to know about the teams in the Final Four. Let's start with Gonzaga, the number 1 seed coming into the tournament. They are 2 games away from becoming the first undefeated team to win the NCAA tournament since Indiana in 1976. Gonzaga is 30-0 and has been destroying other teams in the tournament so far. Their average margin of victory is 24 points, and their closest game was against 8 seed Oklahoma, who they beat 87-71. So much of their past success has come from their head coach, Mark Few. He has led them to the tournament 21 years in a row, which is outstanding for a small program like Gonzaga. The reason for them going from the Sweet 16 tier up to the undefeated status this year is their big 3 of players. Drew Timme, Corey Kispert, and Jalen Suggs are all top 15 players in the country. Timme is a monster underneath. He's averaging 19 points a game and has nearly unstoppable post moves. Kispert is a 46% three-point shooter, which is an unreal percentage. He also has 19 points per game. And last is Jalen Suggs, who will most likely be a top 5 NBA draft pick this summer. He can shoot, he can aggressively drive to the basket, and he has relentless hustle shown by him diving for loose balls and his great defense. If these 3 are all on their game, Gonzaga will not be beat. And the crazy thing is, their other 2 starters, Andrew Nembhard and Joel Ayayi, would be the best players on like half the other tournament teams. But on Gonzaga, they're complementary pieces. Complementary pieces that make it impossible to play defense on this team, because if you somehow lock up Timme, Kispert, and Suggs, one of these 2 is still very capable of getting a bucket. Gonzaga's opponent in the Final Four is one of the least likely Final Four teams in a decade, 11 seed UCLA. UCLA entered the tournament on a 4-game losing streak as one of the last 4 in. They were down 13 in the first half of the first 4 to Michigan State. Then they stormed back and won that game in overtime, then miraculously made it to the Sweet 16, where they held off 2-seed Alabama in another overtime game. Next, the defensive slugfest against 1-seeded Michigan, where they survived to win by 2 and watch 3 game-winning attempts by Michigan come up short. UCLA is led by transfer from Kentucky Johnny Juzang, who has absolutely carried them through this tournament. He's March Madness' leading scorer and has put up over 22 points 3 times already. He's got great pieces around him, with Jaime Jaquez and Jules Bernard each having huge moments so far in this tournament. Point guard Tiger Campbell is really quick and a great passer, and big man Cody Riley doesn't show up on the stat sheet much, but he is a big factor out there. I think Cody Riley might be one of the most important aspects of the Final Four matchup for UCLA. Gonzaga's offense in the tournament has completely gone through Drew Timme, their center. He shoots such high percentage shots under the basket that if he's open, he's not going to miss those layups. Riley is going to have to pressure Timme and make Gonzaga beat UCLA from the outside, which, don't get me wrong, they can absolutely do. I just talked about how good Kispert is from downtown. On the offensive end for UCLA, Juzang, Campbell, and Jaquez need to know that they can't waste a single possession. The Zags averaged 92 points per game this season. UCLA scored 51 against Michigan. They need to slow the game down, take good shots, and put the ball in the hands of Juzang. I know some of these guys will want to be the Final Four hero, but they've got to recognize that Juzang is their best player. I personally think Gonzaga will win this game because I just don't see UCLA being able to stop their high-flying offense. And if you can't stop them, the only other choice is to keep up and outscore them. And unfortunately, I don't think they can do that either. The other Final Four matchup is 1-seed Baylor against 2-seed Houston. Baylor is 26-2 this year. Houston is 28-3. Both of them were ranked in the top 5 of the AP poll for most of the season, but boy are they different teams. Baylor has scored 75 points per game in the tournament. On the other hand, Houston has allowed 55 points per game in the tournament. Something's going to have to give, but what's going to prove to be better? Baylor's high-flying offense or Houston's stifling defense? Let's break down each team a little. The strength of Baylor's team is their guards. Led by first-team All-American Jared Butler, they have 4 guards in their regular rotation who shoot over 40% from 3, and another one that shoots 39.6%. Jared Butler is the star on offense, and Davion Mitchell was recently named National Defensive Player of the Year. Maceo Teague and Adam Flagler are also fantastic shooters, and big man Mark Vidal, who I wouldn't be surprised if he was an NFL tight end someday, crashes the boards and is a great passer out to the guards behind the arc. Houston lost American Conference Preseason Player of the Year Caleb Mills 4 games into the season, and were written off as national title contender without him. But here they are, 4 months later in the Final Four. Their spark offensively comes from Quentin Grimes. I can't even count the number of clutch shots he's made in this tournament. Also crucial to their success is DeJon Jarreau, who is one of the toughest college basketball players I've seen in a while. He limps up and down the court because of his hip injury, but hits clutch shots on the offensive end and still locks down elite players like Oregon State's Ethan Thompson. The criticism of Houston is that they haven't played against a single-digit team in the tournament so far. They've beaten a 15, a 10, an 11, and a 12. But you can't help who you play. You can just help who you beat. And in Houston's case, it's been everyone so far in this tournament. But it's an understatement to say the game against Baylor will be Houston's toughest game. The thing about Baylor, though, is that there is a way to beat them. Make them shoot poorly from three. Baylor shot below 30% from three in each of their 2 losses so far this season. Houston is equipped with the defenders to do this, but it's still no easy feat. Also, Davion Mitchell is going to be playing his stifling defense on Quentin Grimes, I'm sure. That means someone other than Grimes is going to have to take up the scoring. I don't think Baylor is going to shoot poorly from three. I think they're going to win this game and set us up for one of the most exciting championship games ever. Gonzaga and Baylor did not leave the top 3 in the AP poll all year. No one could keep up with either of them offensively. I'd be so excited to watch these 2 heavyweights battle it out on Monday night for the national championship. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this video. Leave your Final Four predictions in the comments below, and thanks for watching.